All right, welcome back. It is not often you see a week where pretty much every single major player in AI makes a huge move. But that's exactly what just happened. From the biggest, most established labs to the scrappy open source community, the whole ecosystem just took a massive leap forward. So we're going to break down what it all means.
So that brings up the big question, right? What does happen when all these giants make their big play at the exact same time? Well, the whole thing turns into this super high-stakes race, where every single software update, every new chip, every release, it sends these huge ripples across the entire industry.
So let's kick things off with the big labs. They're going all in on pushing their AI deeper and deeper into the tools that you and I rely on every single day.
First up, we've got Anthropic. They've just opened the floodgates for their Claude for Excel tool. It was in a small beta test, but now it's out there for all their pro-tier customers. That means this super smart AI assistant is now living right inside the spreadsheets where, let's be honest, so much of our work actually happens.
And this is a really big deal. I mean, think about it. Instead of trying to remember some crazy complex formula, you can now just talk to it. You ask Claude in plain English to analyze your data, and it does. It even has safeguards built in so it won't accidentally overwrite your stuff. We are literally watching the future of office work unfold in real time. Oh, but Anthropic wasn't done there. Nope. They also launched interactive apps inside of Claude. So this turns the assistant into this central command center where you can plug in tools like Asana or Slack or Canva, and you never have to leave the chat. It's a really clear power move to become the one-stop shop that sits on top of everything else you use.
Of course, Google wasn't just going to sit on the sidelines and watch. They're making a very similar play by baking their AI, Gemini, straight into the world's most popular browser, Chrome.
And look, this is way more than just sticking a little chatbot in the corner. They are rolling out Auto Browse, which is an AI agent that can literally click through websites for you to get stuff done. On top of that, there's a Gemini sidebar to compare info across your tabs, and built-in image generation. Your browser is about to get a whole lot smarter.
But all of this amazing software, it needs some serious horsepower to run, right? Well, that's where Microsoft comes in with a massive move that's happening behind the scenes. They just debuted their own custom-built AI chip, the Maia 200.
And we are not talking about a tiny little update here. Microsoft is claiming that the Maia 200 gives them a 30% boost in efficiency over their current hardware. That's good enough to actually outperform what rivals like Amazon and Google have been building. The race for the best silicon is seriously heating up. So why should you care about some new chip? Because this is going to be the engine powering the next generation of AI, including OpenAI's next big model, GPT-5.2, and all of Microsoft's own Copilot tools. But here's the real kicker. Microsoft is also releasing its own software kit for it. This is a direct shot at NVIDIA's CUDA, which is the software that has basically locked everyone into using NVIDIA's chips. Microsoft is attacking the very foundation of NVIDIA's dominance. But this race isn't just between the tech giants. There's another massive force at play here, and that is the incredible challenge coming from the open source community. We're seeing new players just completely disrupt the game with powerful and much cheaper alternatives.
Okay, so before we dive into the next bit of news, we need to understand a key idea, agentic AI. You're going to hear this term a lot. All it means is AI systems that can act on their own. They don't just respond to you, they understand your goals, they make a plan, and they go out and take action to get it done.
And that brings us to Moltbot. This thing went viral, and it really shows you both the amazing promise and the serious peril of this new tech. I mean, people are showing it negotiating car purchases and calling restaurants to make reservations. But here's the trade-off. To do all that, it needs the keys to your entire digital life. And that creates this huge security risk if it ever gets compromised.
And the open source disruption just kept coming. A Chinese lab called Moonshot AI just released Kimi K2.5. We're talking about a 1 trillion parameter model here. That kind of scale used to be reserved only for the biggest labs, and now it's out there, and it's rivaling the performance of the best closed models. That gap between open source and the big guys, it's shrinking fast.
And if you want to see the economic pressure this is creating, just look at this. xAI released its new video model, Grok Imagine, and just look at the prices. $30 a minute for OpenAI Sora, $12 for Google's, and then xAI comes in at just over $4. They are completely undercutting the market on price while climbing the quality leaderboards. This could totally change the game for creators.
So, all of this incredible technology, it brings us to our third and maybe most important theme, the human equation.
How is all this stuff actually impacting our jobs, our society, and just our sense of safety?
Well, a new report from Gallup just gave us a big dose of reality. It turns out, despite all the hype, AI adoption at work is kind of plateauing. A staggering 48% of American workers say they never use AI on the job, at all.
And even the adoption that is happening is not being spread around evenly. There is a massive gap here. If you have a job you can do from home, about 2/3 of you are using AI. But if your job requires you to be physically present, that number gets cut in half. The benefits of this AI revolution are clearly not reaching everyone equally.
And that brings us to a really stark warning from one of the people actually building this tech, the CEO of Anthropic, Dario Amodei. He wrote this new essay where he warns, and this is a quote, "We're building a country of geniuses in a data center that we can't control." He's talking about huge risks, from job loss to the fact that AI can learn to be deceptive, something his own team actually saw happen during testing.
But for all of those risks, the potential upside is just as staggering. So, our last section is all about the incredible new frontiers that are being explored in science, in creativity, and way beyond.
Get this, Google DeepMind just unveiled AlphaGenome. It's an AI model designed to help us finally decode the 98% of our DNA that we barely understand. Scientists call it the dark matter of the genome. It can predict how tiny genetic mutations cause disease. I mean, this could accelerate medical discovery in ways we can't even imagine yet.
And what's fascinating is that not everyone is convinced that just making these AI models bigger and bigger is the right way to go. You have two brand new startups, Flapping Airplanes and Core Automation, that just raised over $1 billion combined to bet against that whole idea. They're exploring totally new ways for AI to learn and reason.
And finally, Google also gave the public access to Project Genie, a tool that lets you generate and explore entire interactive worlds just from a simple text prompt. It is a breathtaking peek into the future of gaming and storytelling. And we're already seeing it in Hollywood, with the filmmaker Darren Aronofsky using AI for a new historical series. And that's where we'll leave it for this week. The race is, without a doubt, accelerating on every single front. Software, hardware, open source, you name it. But as the progress just continues to astound us, the warnings from the people closest to it just keep getting louder. And that leaves us with the central question of our time: are we building a golden age, or are we building something else?